I was at the One Rental at a Time Vegas event, and unfortunately, I had to skip my weekly Bitcoin wrap up with Coach Nick. Would have been too much trouble to do it, but thanks for joining me this week, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. So excited that you had a great time. Looked like everybody had fun, and a lot of people that I like, that I respect, that I admire, all in one place. I look forward to hopefully going next year. Now that it's not going to be on Valentine's Day, there's no way I was getting out of that with the wife. You know what I'm saying? I like to stay married, even though I like you guys too.
Well, a lot of people did attend. I think it's also because it's Super Bowl weekend next year. So it is going to be a challenge. But yes, there was a lot of energy there, incredible conversations. But it was definitely a lot about community, though. But during that time, Bitcoin kind of was flat, maybe went down a little bit, right? Quietly testing people. But so, this week, instead of kind of chasing headlines or price action, we're going to zoom out and kind of talk about things maybe before you invest in Bitcoin, before you stack another Bitcoin. But let's not get emotional before about dumping or pumping or what you want to call it, right? So let's dig into Bitcoin a little bit and maybe talk about you. I think you mentioned like emergency fund, right? Should you have an emergency fund before purchasing Bitcoin?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm so excited. If you're new to this channel, by the way, come subscribe to me, subscribe to Mark. I'm so excited to be here. Like I said, I'm excited just to be back. And yeah, we're talking about emergency funds for Bitcoin investors. I actually got my landlording is not a crime hat on. If most of you don't know, I actually own real estate. I own a couple $1 million worth of real estate. I created an ADU from my garage that I had on one of them, and kind of did the whole nine. 2 duplexes. It was pretty awesome. It's only 2 duplexes here in California, and it's a couple $1 million. But yeah, you need like 14 places in Pittsburgh. But that's not a shot at the Pittsburgh community. I'm just saying. No, just kidding. No, man, I'm excited, man. I love real estate. I love real estate investors, and I love Bitcoin and different asset owners, man. And yeah, I think you should have you should always do the Dave Ramsey first couple steps, right? 3 to 6 months living expenses saved. I have a full year saved, like no problem. Because I have a pretty hefty lifestyle. I think my bills are like 12, 13 grand a month. My hamster wheel is going a little out of control. I got to stop the wifey. You know what I mean? Got her some Versace glasses for Valentine's Day. And now, it's like expected every year. So anyways, no, I love my wife. She's the best. But I
You
couldn't.
better say that part.
Oh man, I'm happily married. I have a great relationship. Yeah. So, but anyways, I can handle any unexpected costs without selling any Bitcoin. I made sure of that. My basic financial safety is, already in place. I told a lot of people through this. If you follow me, I invest in Stretch STRC. It's 11.25% dividend stock. It's actually a return on investment. So as it gives you the dividends, you don't. It doesn't count as income until you actually sell the stock. And so if you wait a whole year and then it's a long-term dividend, so it's only return on, it's incredible. I like it a lot, especially if you're a Bitcoiner like myself, then you definitely will want to be a part of it. So I'm protected from short-term financial shocks, and I'm not forced to liquidate any investments. I don't perp trade. I don't do leverage like that. I have done it in the past though, when I really thought it was going to boom, and I got maybe lucky or maybe great timing or maybe great understanding of the tailwinds ahead. So I did make a lot of money through that, and I also sold a bunch during over the 100,000 mark because I just saw some negativity in the charts and I wanted to be careful. Yeah.
I just want to warn anyone, if you bring up the Bears moving to Indiana, you will be removed from the chat by All Nighter Hider. No, I'm just playing. But it is not official yet. We'll see what actually happens. But
I'm a
but
Bears fan too, so I'm disappointed in the whole situation.
yeah,
I mean, Indiana, they're good for basketball only. That's it.
yeah.
We'll go back
We'll
to Chicago.
we'll see what actually happens. But yes, so I guess a lot of it, Bitcoin recently, maybe the past few months, been very, very volatile, right? So, and it's not so much the volatility hurting people. I think, like you're saying, is preparedness, right? Lack of preparation, right? So you mentioned you do have a decent or well-sized emergency fund, right? So that is very important when any type of investing, whether it's real estate, Bitcoin, even starting a business, stocks, right? But you also talk about dollar cost averaging, right? So assuming someone does have stability, emergency fund, the next layer would be what? Discipline, you would say?
Oh yeah, discipline in anything is the key, right? I need to be more disciplined on my diet right now. Is what I need to be doing. I still got the holiday eats going on, but I'm gonna pick that up right now. But yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. Old guy REI, All Nighter Hider and everyone else, man. We're so excited here. But yes, dollar cost averaging is a big deal. Trade Better 99, what's up, man? Virginia, very cool. It's awesome. But yeah, so I invest on a regular schedule. Like I said, I do covered calls, so I invest my covered call money, not all of it, part of it, into dollar cost averaging. So that kind of helps. It's like my Bitcoin money making me more Bitcoin money. So it's pretty cool. I do the same thing for my Tesla as well. I think Tesla is a great covered call strategy if you own that. But I avoid trying to time the market for the most part. Now, lately, I've noticed some big giant dips. So I front load some of my money into those dips because I just believe in them. When they happen, it's a good time to invest. You know, when there's blood in the streets, that's time to invest. So I stay disciplined through markets up and downs. I remove emotion as much as possible. When I was an early investor, man, I was so emotional about all of it. I was like, oh man, we're up, we're down. When I first invested in Bitcoin, I was down 100 grand in like the first month. And I was like, what did I just do, man? This is terrible. Because I was into real estate, you know, and I was like, you know, it's slow and steady, and slow and steady wins the race in real estate every single time. So I love that. But I held on tight and it went to all-time highs, and you know, I just had an incredible run, and I've never been more excited. But yeah, I try to remove emotion now all the time from it, not to get too crazy. I try to just see what's going on in the news. That's why my daily financial news on Bitcoin insights and market trends is important, because you see what's coming in the Clarity Act, what's coming even in things like the repo market. Iran might be bombing, maybe not. There's just all kinds of things that are always happening, and there's PCE and PCI and every single thing going on every week, man. So there's a lot of little bombs and landmines and things to throw you off, but they're all designed to make you sell. They understand the psychology of what they're doing. So don't panic, don't get crazy, invest short term. If you're not a Bitcoin person, do some ETFs like SPY or VOO, just some steady stuff for long term. You know, get your 100,000 in there and let it compound the rest of your life, and start thinking about maybe your children. Like, I want to have people buying Bitcoin, so they have at least a coin for every single kid they have, or they should have some sort of duplex, quadplex for every single child they have. By the time they turn 18, you already made them more money than they'll make in a regular W-2 job, most likely. So I think those are some keys, man. Just a couple basic things that I think are so great for your family.
And yes, I am testing out a new feature by Restream. So I am streaming both ways in portrait and landscape. So sometimes you might be missing some of the comments if someone is tuning in from a certain streaming. If you guys can also, like I said, jump over to Nick's YouTube channel, subscribe there, but also let us know if he's streaming both ways, because I'm not sure if by me setting it up this way, it also streams in portrait and landscape on his channel.
Yeah, please let
Uh,
us know. We're learning, as we go when we try new stuff. So I love that Mark's always trying something new. It's awesome.
Chicago, yeah, there we go. Ocean 6882. Chicago Bears moving to Indiana. It is not official yet, and we will definitely see what happens. But I saw Frank, old guy REI, who did finally get his belt at the event, but he did say, yeah, reserves are definitely important for, so no matter what we're doing as far as investing wise, right? But yes, you mentioned consistency, reserves. Consistency builds conviction, right? And but timing kind of builds stress, right? So you also want to talk about interest, like paying off high interest debt, right? And this one kind of might ruffle some feathers, maybe, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people like to leverage and do certain things. I'm not using a high interest credit card and buying Bitcoin with it or anything crazy like that. Have I taken HELOCs out and but put it all in Bitcoin before? Yes. I've been 100% invested in Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to do that right now. That's a risky thing that I was doing at the time, and it paid off for me. So maybe it's luck, maybe it was education, maybe it was good market timing. I don't know, but I pay off. I have no debt. I have great credit, 840 score. Like, I pay everything off. I can get any loan I want. And I'm just responsible with my investing beyond what I was just telling you when I wasn't. But for the most part, I'm not investing with borrowed money anymore. My debt is not working against me for my investments. It's working for me. I've reduced financial stress by that way, because I was stressed out. I mean, I can't lie to you. There was times where I was like throwing up in the toilet when I was an early investor. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm up 500 grand. I don't know what to do. I'm down 100 grand. I don't know what to do. I'm still learning this new game of volatility. And unfortunately, I was able to just go deep into the psychology. If you watch my channel, there's a bunch of videos on the psychology of investing. I'm with Hyder. I totally agree that finance is psychology in so many ways. And you're going to learn a lot about that on my channel. So happy that you guys are here watching us right now. And yeah, my cash flow is now free to build assets crazy. Like I have a bunch of dividend stocks. I have some safe things. I love Tesla. I love Bitcoin. I love real estate. I'm going to buy some again when I go to Charlotte, North Carolina. I like the laws there. I like the beauty there. And I like that everyone's moving there. But more than anything, I just like new places and new things. And I want to travel throughout the East Coast. My family's from New York, Long Island, the Bronx, you know what I mean? Ronkonkoma, just different things like that. So anyways, I'm excited to have that.
All right, Harrison looks like he's saying original side by side on Nick's channel. So hopefully we can figure out how to get you streaming both ways also. I think the portrait mode definitely helps viewership. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is, some people are always trying to decide whether to invest or pay off high interest rate. But definitely, you got to look at what the rate is. I mean, I think for most times it makes sense to pay off your high interest debt first, right? Because sometimes it's like, that would be looked at a 22% return or something, right? So if you pay it off, so the math kind of wins every time, right? But let's also talk about Bitcoin, long-term financial plan, right? So now we zoom out even further, right? So is Bitcoin actually part of your long-term financial plan, or is it just something you're hoping goes up?
Oh man, it's my long-term financial plan. I think any real investing is long-term financial plan. You listen to Zuber or anybody in the real estate community, they're talking about the first 5 years suck. But when it comes to Bitcoin, if they have a dip, everyone's just like, oh, it's over, it's the end of the world. But no one talks about maybe there is a full year of suck, 2 years of suck. But long-term, it's shown to be a great asset, an asset class. As they continue to put guardrails up with Clarity Acts and different staking things with banks, they're going to continue to fight it out. TradFi is fighting out with the crypto digital world. There's going to be a lot of things going on with that. But yes, Bitcoin is a long-term wealth strategy. Did you know that we talked about 5-year sucks for real estate, but in Bitcoin, no one's ever lost money in a 4-year cycle if they held it for 4 years. So maybe there's one thing better right there than real estate is 1 year better, maybe. But that doesn't mean that you want a lot, but it's been great, man. So I love both assets, like I always say. If you don't own assets, you're getting left behind. Do I love people that have W-2 jobs? Yeah, I have a W-2. I'm a teacher. I love kids, working in the classroom. I was a 20-year basketball coach. My time up or what?
No, that is a National Weather Service.
Oh, man, you getting hurricanes over there?
Yeah.
Got a bunker down, man? I heard bear down, but bunker down now.
Flash flood warning.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're on Oahu, right?
Yes, I am on Oahu.
All right. That's my favorite island, by the way. But I've only been to 2, so that doesn't say much. Have you been to all of them, by the way, Mark?
Yes, but not for a long time. It's been a long time since I've been to the other islands.
National Weather Service. A flash flood warning
Where the
is in
hell is
effect
this?
for
I have
this
so many
area until
devices going right
9:45
now.
a.m. Hawaiian
Are
Standard
you
Time.
a drug dealer, bro?
This
Is that how you
dangerous and
invest?
life-threatening
Oh,
situation.
you gotta go.
Do not attempt to travel unless
I
you are
don't
in
even
an
know
area
where it's coming
subject to
from
flooding
because
or
all my
under an
it has to,
evacuation
I guess
order.
it's automatic.
That's okay. Yeah, that's right. And they want you safe there in Hawaii, man. That's okay, man.
So it
Yeah.
happens when we live stream. All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's called a live, dude. You know what I mean? But that's okay. That's awesome. Anyway, so the point was I'm just building generational wealth intentionally. Like I said, I really recommend if you could get one coin per child that you have, I think that'd be a great investment. Not financial advice, but that's something that I'm planning. If you ever ask, I already got that, but I'm just saying, if you're investing and you're new to it, is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, it's the long-term plan for you, right? And I think that's the biggest takeaway is everyone should have a plan. A plan definitely survives volatility, right? So just like how, Bitcoin's up and down right now, but you have a plan for it's a long-term vision for you, right? So the next thing would be, can you handle a 30%, right? Kind of what's your take on that? And this might be the most honest question for you right now, where you're at. And, so if Bitcoin dropped 30% tomorrow, would it affect, kind of your long-term vision, I guess?
No, if you're in Bitcoin, you already know there's volatility. See, that's the biggest problem with new investors in Bitcoin. It's dropped, over 50% since the all-time highs, but so has a lot of things right now. Netflix is over 40% itself. So it's not just like some magic internet money that's dropped. I mean, a lot of things are down right now. The Mag 7's completely down from all-time highs. And that's just kind of the economy we're in right now. But for me, I've had to drop 50%. I've had to drop 30%. I've sold a bunch, but I still have a bunch. And yeah, it's dropped a lot. But it has not impacted me because you plan ahead. So I'm not overexposed to volatility. I don't rely on Bitcoin and short-term needs. My bills are paid. My income is steady in my job. I don't technically need my job because I make enough doing the covered call strategy and things like that. But market dips don't impact my daily lifestyle. And if you DCA and dollar cost average into these dips, it might be one of the most one of the best investments you ever make. So the question is to my audience right here and your audience, is Bitcoin dead, or is it going to ever reach an all-time high? If it ever reaches 126 again, do you think that's going to happen or not? If you do, you're going to pretty much almost double your money right now if you invested in it. Think about that. That's 100% gain right now if you think it's going to go that. If you think it's going to go higher, 150, 200, 250, a million a coin, then why would you not put some money into it? That's just my thought. If you think it's dead, it sucks, it's not for you, that's fine. Everyone has their own things. I did real estate, but I did small multifamilies. I wasn't doing storage facilities, mobile home parks. I wasn't doing rent by the room. I wasn't doing Airbnbs. It wasn't that they suck. It's just that they weren't for me. So if Bitcoin's not for you, then that's fine as well. But if you are here, I bet you're interested. You like learning more. You want to know what's going on. Again, watch my channel, man.
I definitely think, yes, if Bitcoin were to drop 30% tomorrow, and you had a difficult time to pay your bills or anything, then the problem isn't Bitcoin, right? I think it's more the plan or the vision. I did see a few questions coming in through the chat, so everyone, thanks for tuning in. I did see like Hyder, where did he put it? I'm sorry, I'm going to go back because he did mention Bitcoin is about getting out of dollars. The fewer dollars it takes, the better. Perspective is everything.
That's the thing that people need to understand. The analogy here is one house in 1945 is the same as the one house in 2026. It's just worth a lot more because it's priced in fiat. But there's a lot of old houses. You're like, how is that worth so much? I don't know if you guys know that Blackstone bought what is it? What's the Coronado Hotel, right? They bought that, I think, for like $700 million. They put like 500 million into it. So that's $1.2 billion for Blackstone just for one hotel. Did you know that they just refied it and it was 1.7 on the appraisal? $1.7 billion. That's a lot of money per room if you think about that, right? But it's okay. It's still the old hotel. They might have updated a little bit, but it's worth way more. So right now, one Bitcoin is still worth one Bitcoin. In the future, guess how much it will be worth? One Bitcoin. But if you price it in fiat, it's going to be worth a lot more, in my opinion, just like our old houses are worth a lot. And you'll see. That's what I think,
Let's see. Where was Harrison's question? Harrison said, are you loading the boat on Bitcoin?
So I'm not loading the boat, though I probably should. I've been playing it a little safer because I kind of think there might be some more downside exposure down to like the 50K range. It might not happen. I don't really know. So I'm just dollar cost averaging. I took a lot of my gains and I put it in stretch so I could get the 11.25% compound yield. And then I could sell it, after a year if I want for long-term gains. When you're in California, you got to be thinking about your tax liabilities here, because when I sold some of the other stuff, I paid 50% in taxes out here, which is crazy. And I tithe to my church, so there's another 10%. So, the fact that I even have any money still after all this is pretty incredible. You know what I mean? But yeah. But seriously, no. But I'm planning more and more. I have some thoughts on putting more and more of my income in as it drops from, if it goes to the 60,000, like low 59 to 50, like I'm just going to keep investing more and I'm going to ride it all the way back up is my hope. But it's a little different for me and you. I'm going to be quite honest from you. I made a lot of money already doing it. So I'm going to preserve that money. I'm not going to gamble it twice and risk, losing it all. I don't think I will. I could double it again and then compound that, but I'm just going to be safer because I have a family, I have kids. I believe in that small and mighty investor strategy as well. Like, I have no problem with people paying off their houses. I know the leverage and I understand how it works. I totally get it. But if you can have a simple life, I'm surprised Dion's buying another property. I know he has too much cash and has to put it somewhere, but I would just be paying those things off, man. I love his travels. I just booked a Jamaica trip coming up here in spring break. Going to be exciting. But yeah, man, that's what I'm doing. I'm being honest with you. I already made a lot of money. I'm preserving it, but I'm also investing still every week. DCA.
I do see Dion tuning in the chat.
Nice.
It was great seeing him in Vegas. I believe he is on the portrait mode version of the live stream.
Oh, okay. So
But yeah, he was definitely putting in the work in Vegas. He did a lot of interviews with a lot of people in the community. I saw a few out on YouTube already. He also had a two-part interview with Brian Davila, the bald guy from the Ryan Pineda camp, I guess you could say. And those are only on school. So if you want to see those exclusive interviews with Dion and Brian, you'd have to be a school member. And yeah, it was, let's just say it was I can see both sides to each of their arguments. I think the biggest thing was definitely though one comes off, and of course is Dion trying to be more of a teacher and helpful. And my take on Brian is just someone who is kind of whining and complaining about things. But he makes valid points for an entrepreneur. It's just his approach and his message is definitely one of more complaining.
did he know who Dion was prior going into that? Like, does he know the friendship that he has with Mike, over the years online? And does he know how Dion is a teacher? And sometimes some of his learning is through, debating it and trying to come to the best idea. So did he already know that going in, or did he just have his own mind to be a jerk online and didn't expect blowback? I'm just curious. I haven't seen.
I'm really not sure.
Okay.
I definitely feel he knew, and he came into it as wanting to be confrontational. So whether he knew Dion or not, I think his approach was he was going to come in not trying to listen or learn. He just wanted to be confrontational about it. And I mean, it was entertainment. It definitely was. But yeah, Dion did a lot. He seems to always get sick in Vegas. I think Vegas is not for him. But like you mentioned, Dion is, I believe he's going to be traveling again. I think he is looking to possibly relocate out of Washington. So I think he is going to the three markets that he's going to be considering. I think he is going to Utah, Tennessee, and I believe Georgia are the three markets that he may be looking at. And you mentioned Charlotte, right? That's the market he may be relocating.
I heard him talking about it. I think it was Texas, Utah, Tennessee, and maybe Florida. I think
that's right. That's right.
But
Yeah,
he was a little worried
not
about
Georgia. Yeah, not Georgia. Definitely.
Georgia's a nice place though. It's a beautiful place. I wouldn't move there unless I'm going to Savannah or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like Texas either. Just not a state that I enjoy. The property taxes suck, and there's nothing really to do there for me. Like, it's just kind of boring. Like, it's a flat land. It's just not a place for me. I love all my Texas people. Don't get me wrong. Dallas is probably my favorite city of the Texas places, but I love Utah. By the way, Utah is a incredible place. I'm not Mormon. Obviously, you don't have a Christian bad, but the people are great there. The beauty in Utah, if you go to their 5 national parks, incredible place to go. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, it was a great event. Sounds like you will be able to attend next year now that it is in January. So it kind of makes things a little bit easier for you. That sounds like you didn't get a chance to watch it, right? You didn't get a chance to watch it or anything online.
No, I didn't watch it. I saw, like, my feed was blowing up though, so that was pretty cool. I just saw a bunch of ORaaT stuff from all the people from the community, which is awesome. And I'm excited that it's not going to be on Valentine's Day. You see, I missed a Valentine's Day with my wife when we first got married. We had a CIF championship or a CIF game. We won a huge game, and it was on Valentine's Day. And I guess she planned a beautiful, wonderful dinner and all these things. It was like our first year of Valentine's Day as a married couple. And I called and was like, hey, could I get some beers with my friends after the game, my coaches? And she said yes, but I never heard the end of that part. So that was the last Valentine's Day I was ever missing, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know about the dinner, man. I felt terrible. But yeah, but now I could go. So I'm excited about that. January, I'm actually going to be on Oahu in January, early next year. So I'm going to touch base with you, Mark, and maybe we'll do a live, in person or something. And then maybe I'll see you again for that.
Yeah, nice. I think the biggest issue was February would fall on Valentine's Day again and Super Bowl weekend. So I think he made a great decision to move it up, but now he only has 11 months to plan for the next event. But it sounds like he is revamping a lot of things. He definitely, how Zuber is, right? It was a great event, but he's already looking at things he wants to improve on. And it definitely sounds like the the VIP people are going to have a way different experience at next year's event.
That's genius. And I watched the video with Lumberjack and Dion and Zuber, and I think it's so cool that they helped out like that. They were busy doing a lot of the work. I've put on so many tournaments every year, a summer leagues. I put on a Christmas tournament, and they take a lot of time, especially when you're doing it by yourself in the beginning. So to have friends like that are stepping up and helping and sacrificing their time, energy, and effort to help, and it just makes the whole thing better. And I'm excited for what he said about the VIP. Like, I think it's cool that they got to speak with sit with the speakers during those times. But if the speakers are dipping out and it's a little different type of vibe, I think it's cool that he's taking the next steps to make it better. And that's one thing I really respect about Zuber and the guys in the community is all those things. It's pretty cool. I have a question for you though. I was just thinking I'm gonna throw you for a loop. No, I'm just
All
kidding.
right, sure. Before you ask, I just want to say real quick, Uber
okay.
Eats does say, agree with you. Dallas is a shithole.
Oh, does it?
Texas state parks are great, he says in the comments.
Pretty clean area though. San Antonio's pretty boring. Houston's okay. There's actually a lot more women in Houston than there are men. So if you're single, that's a nice place to go to. And then Dallas is clean at least. They have a place called Nick and Sam Steakhouse. That's where like the Dallas Maverick players go and everything. It's an incredible place. You should check that out if you ever go. But
so there's a question for you. Do you want to ask me your thoughts first or answer that? Okay.
Good question, baby.
So from Steven from the Bronx, he's a retired FDNY, says there was talk that it's possible Bitcoin may drop to 10,000. I know you shouldn't try to time the market, but since I don't have any crypto now, why not wait a little longer?
I think if you learned anything from the people online is that they don't have a crystal ball and they don't even know what to expect. If you watch even my channel, it's the daily HoDL, it's Bitcoin insights, market trends, and news, because I don't know. And I'm not going to tell you that I know, and I'm not going to lie to you that I know. And guess what? They don't know either, because they were all expecting, as things were going all-time high, that it was going to continue. There was nothing in the forecast, nothing in the charts that said it was going to drop. But you know what it did? Market manipulation through these big buyers and brokerages took over. They sold their coins at highs, bought them back for lows because they can still control the market with no Clarity Act. And I think Congress hopefully will pass that because it's bipartisan for both sides. So as far as 10K, how could you believe anybody that says that? How could you believe, because you just don't know. No one knows. That's why I tell you the safest thing you could do is just DCA, dollar cost average. You get the highs, you get the lows, and over time, if you believe in it, there's never been 4 years where a Bitcoin person didn't make money. And that's all I could tell you. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and it's going to 10, it's going to 180. This is what I think. I think it might go down and it might go up. And that's the extent that I know. You know what I mean?
I forgot. There was a question, I think, on our last live from 2 weeks ago. They sent me a text message after we were done, but they were asking about ETFs taking away Bitcoin scarcity.
Well, I mean, I guess I have a different opinion than some of the people. I like that the ETFs are taking away the coins. So then these brokerages are not just manipulating the numbers and selling them high and buying them low. So like part of the reason Bitcoin has made it to 126,000 was ETFs, massive inflows. So who doesn't like that? It's like a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I like Bitcoin. I love what it is because of all the I think it's perfect money in so many ways, but no, I think ETFs are a great thing. And I don't worry about that because I think that over time, investors are going to invest in things that make sense. And you want people doing that. That's why it's up. That's like, the fact that, what is it? Blackstone is Blackstone buying the houses, right? Not BlackRock. Can't remember, man. I'm forgetting right now. No, Blackstone, I think. Yeah. Either way, the point is, like, it's good that they buy houses. I mean, it's making your numbers go up, in my opinion. They're willing to overpay, and then they're going to hold them a long term because they're not getting in any financial trouble anytime soon because they have more money than 99% of the world. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think differently. People want to complain about something all the time, and it gets old real fast. Stop complaining. Stop listening to all the noise, all the whiners. You have people on the left for politics complaining, people on the right. It's like, gosh, damn, just shut your damn mouth. You don't got to have an opinion on everything and vote, and let's move forward. The same thing for this. Someone's buying Bitcoin. That's a good thing. Stop whining about it.
Before you bring up your question, I did want to let everyone know tomorrow I will be live streaming 8 a.m. Pacific with Michael Zuber. I'm going to have a few different people hop in and out, but he said bring all your questions. It doesn't have to be specifically about the Vegas event. So anything you want to know, bring your questions tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific. All right. What you got? What do you have for me?
Well, just a general thought. I was thinking about everything I've done in my life, from a long-term basketball coach, college, high school, Nike travel, a couple pro players I've coached. I was thinking about going to college, getting my master's degree. I worked at an auto shop. I worked at a few different places over time. And I was thinking real estate for me was the easiest thing I ever did in my life. Is that a crazy hot take or no? I found the small multifamilies really easy. You run a little bit of math, you do a little research on the MLS and find one spot as the easiest community to work with. I feel like so many people willing to help you because there's just too many houses. They can't buy them all. And then you collect the rents. You know what I mean? Like what Dion says, 2 hours a month. So I actually found it to be one of the easiest things I've ever did. It just feels so scary because the amounts of money that are involved in it. But when you have the right people, a good lender, a good agent, a good handyman, like I just feel like it was one of the easiest things I've ever done. Slow moving dinosaur in some ways, but when it compounds, it really goes and you feel good. What do you think about that? Hot take.
No, I absolutely agree, and I think that's why a lot of times, even like these live streams, a lot of the school accountability calls, I'm not, I'm kind of there just to have fun, lighten
Yeah,
things up, because to your point, I feel like real estate is pretty simple,
yeah,
like you're saying, for the most part. I mean, it's pretty much, basic math. It is very emotional for a lot of people. Like you're saying, a lot of times it is a big chunk of their savings or their money. And there's always that doubt, right? And I think that's what's so great about the community. And I think that's why people loved coming to the event, is because it's kind of that everyone's kind of, well, there is people ahead, there is people still trying to start,
yeah,
but there is a big group that's kind of still in that 5 years of suck. And even like Cody Davis, who kicked off the event for his the Saturday presentation,
yeah.
he changed his presentation because he felt like the majority of the people that were going to be at the event probably are somewhat on their journey, have started their journey. So he wanted to tailor it kind of towards the 5 years of suck people and
Gotcha.
let them know, like, hey, you're not alone in a sense. And he talked about it. He talked about, I believe, like he has like 5-figure capex expenses for like maybe the past 5-6 months. Every month he's having some big expenses.
Yeah.
So it definitely is a struggle in the beginning, but like you're saying, it's kind of a slow moving dinosaur. And but once you get over that hump, and everyone in the community kind of uses it as the catchphrase now. Yeah, the 5 years of suck. And once you get past that, I think it definitely gets a lot easier.
Also, just
Hey,
buy a great deal, by the way.
yeah, well, I definitely buy a great deal,
Yeah.
and it definitely makes those first 5 years more manageable. But I think even if you bought a deal that maybe it wasn't a home run in the beginning,
Yeah.
if you get past those 5 years, then there's a good chance that it can become a home run. And I think like even I think Dion, that's why he likes tenant occupied properties and things like that, right? I think it may not be a home run on day one,
Right.
but over time, if you're able to get past those first 5 years, then definitely most likely most properties should be worth it, right? Hey, Flavio's tuning in. Flavio drove from Washington, man. Like 16-hour drive, man.
Very cool.
But I think Zuber was very happy that he's like, man, you're nuts for driving here, but I appreciate it. But he's like, have you ever heard of a plane?
I think that's cool. That's a beautiful drive, and I'm sure like you get to think about everything on the way and on the way back. And that's one of the things I was saying. I think real estate in the past, since we're talking about this as well, like I think it was a lot harder than it is today. Like even like as a teacher, I tell my students, I'm like, everyone should be passing the AP World History test that I teach. Everything is online. You have the greatest teachers in the world knocking things out the park. Information is everywhere. And the same for real estate. Like there's such great information. The things Dion does on Tuesdays, the things Lumberjack did. even Zuber used to do Saturday mornings, I think, where he would live for an hour in the beginning. Now I've been watching him a long time, and I just think there's so many great people. This is the best community, I want to say, real estate to me. Like I do Bitcoin as well. I don't like the Bitcoiners too much, man, because they're just like the most whiny babies sometimes. And if you're watching my channel, sorry, but that's the truth. It's hard to find people that are just real, that are just down to earth, that want to see you succeed and be winners. They're comparing their wallets. What do you have? Oh, you run a node, or it's like, man, just help each other out, be loving to each other, care for each other, and support each other. But I just think that if you could be patient, hit a home run, there's just too much information to read. Like, even if you don't want a property manager, go get one. You know what I mean? Manage the manager. Like, you learn things from Michael, who has that. That's what he does. Or you learn from Dion and his simplistic method, in which I think is genius, and even how to raise rent, because that's hard to do. Like I said, landlord is not a crime, because if you raise rent, especially in California, they hate your guts, man. They're like, oh, you got to, like, well, and you talk to them. Insurance is going up, and you just have conversations with people. You treat them right. That was the one reason I didn't get a property manager. One, to save money, 10%. I'll keep that. Thank you very much for once it gets going, it's real easy. And then number two is just like, in California, I don't really want to do evictions, right? So I was nice to everyone. I just treated them all with a lot of respect, kindness, and some of them, they were different politics than me, different positions. I didn't care. I'm going to treat you like a person. And I treated them well. They treated me well for the most part. And that's how that worked, man. And if anybody had to be the bad guy, it was going to be the lease. I'm sorry, the lease says you can't do this, And they're like, oh, I get it, So it was awesome.
I totally agree with Lauren Elaine, who's on Wednesdays with me on a regular basis now. She did attend the event for the first time, and I believe she was on Zuber's. She got interviewed by Zuber yesterday, I believe. I think it was Friday, so I'm not sure if that video will be coming out. She also just joined school with us, but yeah, I totally agree. You're all crazy talking real estate 7 days a week. So this is my weekly Bitcoin wrap up, but we just started talking about the event and other things. But I totally agree with that. I don't know how some people are talking real estate every single day, like you kind of touched on, right? It's pretty simplistic, and I just don't know how it seems like people are making it harder than it has to be a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that happen in eviction. If you're over leveraged, you're scary. If things break down in the beginning, you're like, what do I do? But then you just call the guy on Yelp and they fix it, and you pay them if you have the money. And, like, it seems scarier than it really is. It's not. Now, if you just get a really terrible tenant, you're in a bad state, like I'm here in California. I mean, it could go real bad real fast. That's why I ended up getting rid of it. But at the same time, I held one of the properties I held for 2 years, and equity went up. I went up over 100 grand in 2 years, just the equity. And I was already cash flowing $1,000 a month on the duplex with the ADU in the back. And I was like, man, this, as a teacher, as a person that's had other jobs, going to college, whatever, I was like, this is the easiest money I've ever made. And I would wear a rents due shirt when I was on the first of the month when I'd go teach. I'd always wear a rents due because I talked to my students about it. And then for Bitcoin, going back to that, they're assets. You're just trying to make money. You're trying to set up generational wealth. You're trying to take care of yourself in retirement. Sure, I got a pension and I got a bunch of things. I made some smart choices, but you could start at any age and you could do a wonderful job, because if you didn't do it in the past, you still have a lot of experience about people, about making bad deals, fast talkers, just different things. Like I just think that the best thing you can do is get into a community and do your research on reading books and YouTube, man.
And yes, Lauren says she interviewed Zuber this morning and he interviewed her yesterday, and that will be up on Monday. So now Lauren is committed for her YouTube channel. She somehow threw it out there when she met Zuber in Vegas, and now she's committed to her channel. So I did put Nick's channel in the chat, so go subscribe if you haven't yet. He's doing a lot of daily Bitcoin information. But here is Lauren's channel. So
Sure.
we have to get that up and moving. So let's put this in the chat. And if you can, go subscribe over there. Um,
I'm almost at 400 YouTube subscribers in a couple months that I've started this channel. By the way, YouTube is harder than real estate, by the way. So
that's funny. You mentioned that.
yeah,
Wait, hold on. Lauren said, "Yeah, is that just posting on the main?" Okay, so yeah, Flavio is recommending Lauren to introduce herself in school. Yes, Flavio got me in trouble by saying hi to Lauren and saying, "How come I haven't said hi to her yet in school?" And then someone thought they were talking about someone else, and they're like, "Oh, I guess he doesn't like me or something." So Flavio is stirring
sounds like the
trouble.
school community.
But that's funny you say that because Justin Cambra, who was on with me yesterday, he was at the event. He is a big real estate agent investor in the Seattle area. Big following on Instagram, and he's at like 50 subscribers. And he he said the exact same thing. He's just like, yeah, this YouTube thing is harder than it seems. Like you would think that
Very hard.
what you're putting out there is great information and great content, and it's just like you said, it's this slow moving dinosaur, and you get one subscriber, and you're just like, oh yeah, I got one today, right? And then it disappears for some reason. It goes up and then it disappears, and you're like, hey, what happened?
But I want to say this. Did you know that 90% of YouTubers don't get 100 subscribers? I did some research on it. So the fact that you get 100, you're already better than 90% of the people that started channels. I'm almost at 400. I was getting discouraged myself. I get about one a day or whatever. Sometimes I'll get 20 and sometimes I'll just get nothing, or I'll even lose, just like you said. But I was like, man, when I was at 0, I was like, how the hell am I going to get this to even 100? Got to 100. I'm at almost 400. And I was like, man, it feels discouraging though, because everything I've done has been easy. But maybe I'm doing a great job. I got 400 in 4 months or whatever it is, and I'm still going. So I didn't quit. I'm going to 1,000 no matter what.
Well, I think it's definitely to like what Zuber mentions, right? You can gain a lot of viewers if you put out a certain type of content.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for kind of to help people,
Yeah.
you're probably definitely going to be that slow moving dinosaur, like you said. And like you said, you're putting out daily things to try to help and inform people. And I'm sure that's why it's probably not growing as fast as some other channels that you kind of look at maybe and they're like, what the, how does this person have, 50,000 subscribers or something, right?
Yeah, once a week. I'm like, once a week? And what sucks too is like you can do a great video. We're back to YouTube now. You can do a great video. Like, when you do a good video, you killed it. You did a good job. You weren't mumbling your words. You know what I mean? You didn't stutter. You didn't breathe too heavy, whatever. And then you get like 6 views. And then you do another one that sucked and it goes to like 500 views. And you're like, I just don't get it. I saw that on Zuber's channel. He had like Rob Abasolo on there. I wanted to meet him. I think he's awesome. I just love his channel, by the way. But the point was like, he's a pretty famous guy. He was on Bigger Pockets, and I saw his video on Zuber's barely went up. And I was like, damn, the algorithm got that one because that should have been a great video. You know what I mean? But it's just weird. YouTube's a weird thing, man. That's all I know.
Yeah. I mean, for the amount of subscribers that Zuber has, the amount of views that he has on his videos is very low. I
Yeah.
mean, for the amount of subscribers. But like you said, he's putting out great information, and it's just for whatever reason he doesn't get the views. And like you're saying, there's some people that put out freaking I don't know basket weaving stuff, and there's like 100,000 views on it. It's wild, yeah. What people are watching and how it gets pushed in the algorithm. But
Well, even that Leah the Trader that spoke at the school
Mhm.
thing, you told me about her. I never heard of her. I looked her up and I was like, you got that many followers? Like on X, on X,
Oh
there's a ton. She has like 80,000 followers or something. I don't
yeah,
know what it is. I'm just mind blown. I'm
yeah.
just mind blown by some of these things. And I'll look at mine. I'm like, 13 views. Damn. Like and that was a good poll. If that guy posted that same poll, it would have got 40,000 views and votes and whatever, man. So
Well, I know that's what people were doing at one point. So like you said, if you went to Leah's, and Leah had a great presentation, but I think a lot of people were kind of like, she started in real estate and she holds none of that real estate anymore.
yeah.
But it was interesting. But yeah, like if you probably looked at her page and copied one of her polls or posts and put it on yours, yeah, the viewership will be like completely skewed. Uh, Flavio is trying to make trouble now.
Oh, man.
So he is saying that if you want views, Nick, you got to get Brandon on your channel.
Oh, man. I got nothing against Brandon. I'll leave it
Yeah.
alone. I'm actually very excited that all the people on Marc's channel that go on each day or sacrifice each week. I think that's like, I applaud all those people because they're taking the time out to do so. They're giving out their information for free, and I have respect for every single person on there, man. So I got no bad blood for Brandon or anybody. So I'm just happy to be here with everyone else. I love the community, and yeah, that's it. But I'm not afraid to. I'm like Dion. I'm not afraid to share my opinion, but I'm also, you don't have to follow my way or not. I don't get mad or upset about anything. But if you want me to share it, I'll share it. You know what I mean?
Hyder says, I did a YouTube short explanation of 401ks that got 1,400 views last I looked.
Nice.
My property was a rat trap. Huh. Okay.
My prop, maybe, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah. My prop was a rat trap.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's wild what attract. Like I said, even when Zuber was doing a lot more clickbaity thumbnails, you could tell the viewerships it was way higher. Even the comment section was way more active. So yeah, definitely. I mean, there is a I guess a pattern. So if you do want to grow, they say grow fast, there is a way to do it. But
I got my clickbait ones going. You know what I mean? I ain't Zuber. I don't care. I post it, and then you watch the video, and I talk about it. See, the difference between all of us and him is he made a big deal about the doomers and the clickbaiters. You know what I mean? So when he does it, it just feels wrong. When anybody else does it, you're just trying to grow your channel, in my opinion. But there's nothing that he did wrong either, Zuber. I think he's like I said, a wonderful guy. He's funny too. So when I go on his channel, when he interviews me, it's always like, all right, I'm going to be hard on you. You know what I mean? Like he always about the Bitcoin. I'm like, yeah, man, what's new? You know, we have a great relationship. We're always laughing, but it's just funny. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, no problem. I don't be hard on me. But he owns Bitcoin himself, Zuber. You know, he bought it early, like when it was 10,000 or less. I don't know how much he asked or owns. I didn't ask him, but yeah, you know, that's just part of life. One thing about the shorts, All Nighter Hider, I don't know about you. So I have a lot of like 1.4 or 1,400 views or 1,000. And then my YouTube longs, or they're not really that long. I do 5 to 10 minute videos. Yeah, they don't get nearly as many views as those shorts. So I don't know if I should am I doing the wrong thing on the daily HoDL and should just do shorts because they're getting 1,400 looks, you know, all the time. I don't know. I'm still learning, but I do it because I like it. I enjoy it. And I want to talk about it. That was my thing. I was like, I want to talk about it to somebody. I'll talk about it to the audience and see what happens, and go from there. By the way, I just made these new die cut stickers with my logo and stuff. So we're moving up here. You know what I mean? We're moving up here.
Is that going to be merch on your channel yet? Or
nah, no merch, no nothing yet. You know, right now I'm just doing the basic stuff, trying to get this down. And one of the things that Hormozy said is like, you're going to suck in the beginning anyways. Do as many videos as you can. And by the time people start watching you, you're getting better at that time anyway. So they're all practice. And as a coach myself, I'm getting better each time. I'm getting more comfortable. I'm getting less embarrassed too, because sometimes I'll be out, you know, I'm in Belize and I'm doing a video and I'm like, this is embarrassing for a millennial. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, content creator in the wild. And there's a Jaguar, there's a, you know, and there's a content creator, you know, so it is what it is. I'm going to be more comfortable being who I am. But more than anything, I told myself I'm leaving this for my kids more than anything, because I want them to be able to see me forever. This is their grandpa, this is their dad, this is their great grandpa, and I'm just going to leave my financial legacy and my faith and my leadership. I got a lot up here from 20 years of coaching and teaching, and I just want to give it especially to my family. I'm working on a book. I'm going to get that done, and I'm almost done. I got a lot going on, but I'm doing it just for my kids. Like, no matter what, my fallback is my kids get to see what their dad was doing, and he just wasn't some turd, you know, watching cartoons all day or playing video games, you know. Nothing wrong with video games, so.
Very cool. Looks like Hyder may have put his short in the chat, so if you want to go check that out. He also does mention the algo seems to stop pushing shorts around the 1.3, 1.4 thousand viewership mark. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, this was a good one. I like catching up with you weekly. Like I said, we focus on Bitcoin maybe the first half, and then kind of just dig into whatever the chat has going on. We kind of recap the Vegas event. Like I said, hopefully I get to meet you. Well, you might be in Hawaii, you said in January, but also at the
Vegas
event.
For sure in January. Yep.
The good of Flavio, the good of YouTube videos, always they're making views. Huh. Not quite sure what he's. The good of YouTube videos, always there making. Oh, I think he's saying the good thing with YouTube videos is that because it's out there, you can always get views on it because it's like something that's just there forever unless you take it down. But
Well, I want to know all these people that went viral, they got like 1 million views from like 3 years ago, and they're still getting pushed. I'm like, bro, why does mine stop at this number? Like, because you could see a lot of likes and it still not get a lot of views, which is kind of crazy. So it's just a weird. I know it depends how long they're watching, just different things, but it's just interesting. I just find it all very fascinating. I wouldn't put my life into YouTube. That's one thing I'll tell you. Algorithms change, things change, and you do it because you love it. You care for people. You want to share your wisdom, and a lot of you guys are so smart. When I read some of my comments, they're incredible. I love them. They're usually uplifting. Sometimes they're terrible. I got one today that was just an awful, like, dog crap. You know what I mean? Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I woke up and chose violence this morning. Yeah.
all right, well, anyone here, if you have not subscribed, there is Coach Nick's Lead Pray HoDL channel. If you want to know more Bitcoin content daily, go check it out. And we will be back next week, Saturday, for the weekly Bitcoin wrap up. But thanks for doing this, man. It's good seeing you, and thanks for always being here on Saturday on time, man. One of the few that show up on time for my live stream. Everyone else comes in like last minute.
I'm a coach, man. I'm already ready. I've been thinking about it since 6 a.m. the day before, so I'm already ready to go, man. That's why I have energy. I'm excited, and I'm like I said, thank you for waking up, man. You don't know this guy wakes up early to do this, man. That's so impressive.
Yeah, and everyone, like I said, I'll be live streaming tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, with Michael Zuber. Bring all your questions. Yeah. Last thing, Life Unruled says if you're gonna buy just dollar cost average into Bitcoin, wouldn't hold your breath on it going to 10K. Yep, absolutely.
I don't think it's going to 10K at all. If I had to, I doubt that ever happened. It got down to 16K. And that was before when the high was 70. I don't think we're ever getting 10K again. That could be wrong. I'm no, but I agree with him. That's why I said I dollar cost average now. I did a lot of irresponsible things early and it paid off. Now I'm doing a lot of safe things. Dollar cost average, get some highs, get some lows. It's a long-term asset, I hope. So, and that's it.
I'm back. Don't worry.
Like,
yeah.
Do I end this or what? Okay. What's going on with you, man?
They're canceling us already, man.
I'm gonna take away your pay for this now. No.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you are in school, you're out of your minds. This person said. If you are in school, check out the short-term rental call. That should be happening in about 5 to 10 minutes. But see you folks all tomorrow. All right. Thanks.